Thank you so much for joining us today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. My pronouns are she and her, and this is a recording of a live class over Zoom. Today's yoga practice will be a restorative practice where we will open up the shoulders. We're going to do a few things to support our wrist health. And we're also going to work on opening up the hips, but not in a worky way, in a comfortable way. So let's go ahead and start by sitting up on a blanket or a pillow, bolster block, whatever you like. And just begin to notice your breath. Just welcome your breath in with a gentle invitation. Say hello to it, invite it in. And as you exhale, just release it softly with that same sort of invitation to release. And we'll continue breathing with that really gentle, welcoming kind of intention around the breath. Invite yourself to be here in this present moment. So the whole point of today's practice is to feel good. Too much of our time is spent adulting, doing all the things we have to do, the things that keep our lives organized. But as we're here today together, just getting in touch with the breath here at the beginning of our practice, maybe write yourself a little mental permission slip. I actually read this in a book written by Brene Brown, can't remember which one, but she offers this suggestion to write yourself a permission slip. And mine would say, Christine Wilson has my permission to have fun and to relax and to feel good. And then I'd sign it, Christine Wilson. So whatever it is that you don't let yourself do, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel cozy and comforted, that makes you feel taken care of, I invite you to write yourself maybe a written permission slip, maybe a mental permission slip to do that thing or those things. Maybe it's the same thing I want to do. Feel good, take care of myself, and have some fun. So find yourself in that nice tall seat and bring your right hand to your belly, your left hand to your heart. Gently hug your triceps in, maybe close your eyes and bring a little smile to your inner self or maybe even to your face. Give yourself a hug and say, you have my permission. I have my permission to take care of myself, to feel good, to have fun, whatever it is. Just as if you were taking care of a kid and they needed your permission and you just want them to have fun and feel good, and give them a little hug and you send them on your way with a smile on both of your faces. One more little squeeze, and then let's reach those arms out as we inhale and bring them up towards the sky. Maybe look up to find your palms coming together, and exhale your hands right down through your heart center. Sweep the arms out again as you inhale. Maybe track the fingers with your peripheral vision until your hands get overhead and you can see your thumbs. And then watch your thumbs all the way down as you exhale the hands through heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Reaching up, looking up, warming up the neck, warming up the shoulders. One last time here, reach up, and this time let's exhale the hands right down to the heart. Get in touch with that breath again. Full connection here. And then let's go ahead and come on over into child's pose. Now, if you like, you can use a bolster or a couple pillows or blankets underneath the belly to keep the heart and head lifted. If you want to come all the way down, let's bring those big toes together and take the knees out wide. Anchor your sit bones down to your hips. And if they don't quite reach, just bring a pillow underneath so that you have some nice connection and you're firmly grounded here. We'll walk those hands out any amount and bring the forehead right on down to the earth. If it's more comfortable, you can bring your forehead to a block. We'll inhale and open up across the armpits here. And then exhale, soften your forearms down. Let your shoulders be soft. And just roll your forehead a little bit from side to side. Maybe make some circles in one direction and then the other. Massaging out any tension or any eye strain from the day by closing those eyes as you do it. And maybe give your hips a little wiggle so that you've got plenty of room for the flesh of the belly to just be soft and relaxed here. Let's take 3 big cleansing breaths right here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. Really invite the breath down deep into the belly. And 1 more time. Let the breath expand into your hips. And then let's go ahead and walk the hands over to the left side of your mat. They might be next to each other on the mat. You could stack your left hand on top of your right hand on top of the left hand. And then just sink back down towards your mat. Really draw the right hip back towards that right heel. Maybe rest your forehead again to the mat, or maybe rest it to your arm or a block. And just visualize your right lung expanding, opening up, filling up like a little paper lunch bag. And then as you exhale, kind of crinkles down like this lunch bag's been used. All the air comes out, and then we reinflate. And exhale to soften. Walk your hands back through center and take them over to the right side. Bow your head down to rest on whatever makes sense for you. Draw your left hip back towards your left heel and breathe into the left lung. Really visualize the expansion of that lung working underneath your rib cage. Relax the arms, relax the shoulders. And then we'll bring those hands back to center. Inhale, come up onto all fours. If you are using a bolster or other support for your child's pose, you can move that aside for now, but keep it close. Anything cozy that might make your practice feel a little nicer, keep it nearby and just wag your tail a little from side to side. You might even send your hip over to the right and look over your right shoulder, getting a little side stretch again in the left side of the body. And then send your hip to the left and look over the left shoulder. And then we'll come back to center. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Maybe bend your elbows so the heart and the gaze can come forward. And then press into the fingers. Kind of lift the wrist off the mat as you come back into cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Couple more times. Come back to tabletop as you next inhale, and then exhale, send the hips back to the heels and come into Virasana, Hero's Pose, kneeling here. Sitting on your heels or on a blanket or on a block. Let's go ahead and find a little bit of wrist relief here. And actually, I think I'll come out and face you, but you don't have to move from the back of your mat there if that's where you ended up. We're going to go ahead and bring the tops of our two fists together. If you're of a certain age, you might remember the Super Friends cartoon, and they had the Wonder Twins, the Wonder Twin powers activate. So kind of a fist bump, basically. We're going to take our two fists together, bring the backs of the hands down to a block or to your mat, and we're going to bend those elbows deeply and then straighten the elbows any amount and get a nice big stretch across the tops of the forearms. You can kind of go up and down here. Maybe rock back and forth a little bit. Whatever feels nice to you here. And then let's go ahead and roll back up to that nice tall seat and just roll out those wrists. Open up the hands and circle the wrists in one direction and then the other. Might do some jazz hands here. You might do the hula. Just kind of let your hands be playful and fun and light. If you're in Oregon like me, maybe you do the Oregon hula, which kind of looks like rain, although we have a break from the rain now. And then we'll go ahead and just kind of hold on, press your right palm out in front of you and hold on to your four fingers with your left hand and just draw those fingertips back towards the elbow, any amount. Notice that stretch across the bottom, the inside of the forearm. And you might notice it in other places of the arm too. Maybe in the bicep, maybe in the shoulder. And then continuing to breathe, we'll just do the other side. Drawing those fingers back towards the top of the forearm here as we stretch out the bottom. And then we'll release that, shake the hands out a little bit, and then just open and close the hands. We tend to kind of have our hands sort of crunched up as we're typing and writing and doing all the things. So just open them up, close them, spread those fingers wide, close them again. And then just flick it out as if you've got water on your fingertips and you're just flicking it off. little strengthening exercise here for the wrist too. All right, so let's go ahead and come back to that child's pose. If you want more of a stretch in the low back, keep your legs parallel. If you want more of a stretch in the hips, go ahead and take those knees out wide, big toes together again. We're gonna do a thread the needle on both shoulders. If that doesn't feel good to you to be down on the floor doing that, just hold your arms across the chest as we thread the needle down on the mat. So same thing. We'll just climb those hands out again and simply reach the left arm underneath the right arm, coming down to your left shoulder, your left temple. As I said, if that does not feel good, stay in your hero's position and just draw your left arm across the heart, hugging it in with your right arm. So whatever feels best for you. You can walk that right hand out if you're down low on the floor. Or again, use it to hug that left arm in. If you're down on the floor, you could press your right palm into the earth and draw your right shoulder back and down. Drawing it in towards that left shoulder blade. Maybe even make some little circles with that right shoulder. You know, when we do the shoulder rolls, we draw the shoulders up and back and down. So do that right here as we thread the needle, and then find some stillness. Take 2 of those big cleansing breaths right here, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And then we'll reach the right arm out long again and just switch sides. So if you're in the upright position, draw the right arm over the heart, hug it in with the left hand, or come on down to your right shoulder, your right temple. Reach that left arm out long, and then draw it back to in front of your face. Plant that left palm and make those shoulder circles here in the left side. Draw the left shoulder up and back and down, up and back and down. As many times as feels good to you here. And when you've had enough, just find some stillness and take 2 more of those big cleansing breaths. And then we'll inhale back to center, come back to tabletop, and then come down on the forearms, stretch the legs out long, bring the hips and the thighs, the shins and the tops of the feet to the earth, and come into Sphinx pose. Draw the heart forward through the upper arms. Draw the shoulders back and down. Let that neck be nice and long. Draw the base of the skull towards the sky. Breathing here. One more inhale right here at center. Exhale and just look back over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look back over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center, and again, exhale over the right shoulder, getting a nice stretch in the left side of the neck, and back to the left. And then maybe you want to drop the chin to the chest, and let the chin roll from shoulder to shoulder. And now that you've explored a little bit, maybe find some organic movement here that just feels really nice in your upper back and in your shoulders. You can stay right here, or if it feels nice, you can press into your palms and begin to straighten the arms, coming into seal pose. Let those shoulders come back and down. Invite your neck to be long by tucking your chin. Press the tops of the feet to the mat. Either in Sphinx or Seal. One more inhale. Exhale to release. And then we're going to take that left arm parallel to the front edge of the mat. Bend the right foot and reach back with your right hand to hold on to the inside or the outside of the right foot or ankle. And just draw that heel in towards the sit bone. Or maybe press the foot into the hand and lift up a little higher. Maybe draw it in and press it up, getting a little dynamic movement here. Or if you find a spot that feels really good, stick it out right there and take a couple breaths and just enjoy how good that feels. Pressing the foot back into the hand can help open up the front of the right shoulder. Maybe you draw the shoulder back and down just like we did earlier and thread the needle. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Switch sides, right forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Bend that left leg and reach back for your left foot. Maybe find that little dynamic movement, pressing the foot into the hand and then drawing it closer to the left sit bone. Or find a nice spot and take a breath or two there. Let that left shoulder come back and down. Inhale once more. Exhale, release. And then we'll press into the hands, rise up to tabletop. And let's go ahead and roll over to your sit bones. Come into Dandasana posture, legs out in front of you, toes pointed up towards the sky. Might take your fingertips out to either side. Let's inhale and raise those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, lift the heart up and over the thighs. One more inhale, really finding that Tadasana back length in the spine. And then exhale, bringing your hands down alongside your legs. Breathe into that low belly. And with the compression here in the belly, notice the expansion of the low back and the hips. You can stay lifted like this with a nice flat back. Toes pointed up into the sky for a more active posture, more supported posture. Or maybe you want to let those feet be soft and grab your blanket or block or pillow and bring your support to rest on your thighs or your shins so that you can rest your forehead there. And then just turn your palms up towards the sky and let the shoulders be soft, kind of draping down towards the earth. And as you breathe into your back body, notice the space you can create behind the heart. Notice where you're tense or holding, gripping. Maybe you've got some tension in your hands or feet, maybe your jaw. Let those areas be soft. Again, remember you granted yourself permission to feel good, to take care of yourself, to have fun, to relax, whatever it was. Bring your permission, bring your intention, right here to this breath. Let yourself be soft. If you're using a support and you find you want a little more depth, you can turn your block or whatever to a lower setting. I think I'm going to stay right where I am though. Let's find 2 of those cleansing breaths right here. Inhale through the nose, really big, expansive breath. Exhale as you exhale with a hum. Well, that sounded more like a groan than a hum, but maybe you do better. Let's try that again. Inhale through the nose, exhale with a hum or a growl or whatever works for you. Sound like somebody's dog. And then we'll go ahead and remove whatever support you have. Use your fingertips to press yourself up to that nice tall spine. And then we're gonna flip that left leg around behind us, bend the right knee, and come towards the front of the mat. Now this time, the right shin's invited to be parallel to the front of the mat, might not quite get there. That right heel can be kind of nestled into the left groin, or maybe you have the flexibility to bring the shin parallel to the front of the mat. Anywhere in between is great. And if that right sit bone is lifted, just take a blanket or block or something and set it right underneath. I'm actually going to scooch back a little bit here to give myself more room. And we're going to press into our fingertips. We already did that nice Sphinx pose back bend. So we're going to encourage that same kind of lift in the heart, tucked chin, fingerprints pressing into the mat. And then look back at your left leg and make sure it's kind of parallel to the long edge of your mat here. Find that beautiful pigeon heart, nice and lifted. And then exhale, come any amount lower to the earth. So you might bring your forearms down, coming into that same Sphinx posture. And you can sort of, adjust yourself so that you're comfortable here. All the flesh of the breast and the belly is inside that right thigh, so it has plenty of room to be. You can stay lifted here, or maybe you stack your fists and rest your forehead. Or a little lower option, take your hands to prayer position and rest your third eye right on top of your thumbs. Maybe acknowledging your own inner wisdom, your own inner light. Or you might stack the hands and rest the forehead to the top hand. Or you could stretch your arms out into child's pose, arms, whatever feels nice for you. And once you get to a place where you think you can rest and be comfortable for a bit, give your hips a little shimmy, shake, and come to a place where you can just release any tension, any tendency to kind of hold yourself upright, and just surrender to gravity here. Notice as you inhale, the way that your body's positioned, that whole right hip is going to want to expand here. So invite the breath there, invite the breath into the sacrum, the low back, the low belly. And remember the permission you gave yourself, the intention that you set. Whatever that was for you, I'm going to remind myself that I am here to feel good and take care of myself.
Maybe it feels nice. You might take another big inhale and exhale with a sigh or maybe a humming sound if that felt good. And then just take 3 more breaths here, softening the jaw. And as you're ready, begin to rise up, pressing your palms into the mat. We're just simply going to switch. So bring that left arm around to the front. Switch your support if you used one to the left side. And we're just going to swing that right leg behind. Invite the left leg towards the front edge of the mat. As you can see on this side, my left heel's pretty much kind of tucked into the right hip socket, sort of hip flexor area. But if you have the flexibility, you could bring your shin to parallel with the front edge of the mat or anywhere in between. If that left sit bone's lifted, tuck your support underneath the butt cheek there. And then press into all 10 fingertips. Draw the heart through the upper arms, tuck the chin, draw the skull, the base of the skull towards the sky. Check that back leg, make sure it's nice and parallel to the long edge of the mat. Find your proud pigeon posture here. Inhale once more, and then exhale your journey down to whatever edge feels good to you. If you stacked your fists or your hands, you might switch it up, whichever one is on top. And just come down into the posture that feels nicest for you, where you can let go and relax. Give your body as many wiggles as you need. Squirm down into that position that supports you here. And allow yourself to be soft. Allow your jaw to relax. Allow your shoulders to relax. And then see where you notice the breath. As you inhale, where do you expand? Can you invite the breath more deeply down into the pelvis, the hips, the low back, the low belly? Maybe take one of those big inhales, exhale with a hum or a sigh. Do that as many times as you like. Two more breaths wherever you are. And then we'll walk back upright once again, pressing into the palms. This time, let's swing both feet forward, maybe sitting on your blanket. maybe coming to the front edge there so the hips are high and the knees can be low. And we'll just invite the soles of the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana. You can really hold on to your toes or your ankles here and kind of flutter those knees up and down. Maybe even press down with your shins, draw the shoulders back and down, tuck the chin, and see how much space you can create between your ears and your shoulders. Drawing the shoulder blades towards one another here. Inhale to raise the head. Exhale, round the back into cat posture. Inhale, the heart comes forward. Exhale, round the back body. Inhale back to a tall spine, and then we'll bring the heels away from the sit bones, coming into diamond shape. So we're gonna take a block once again, or a support of some sort to rest the forehead on, or you can come into full turtle pose, whichever you prefer here. So let's inhale for that nice tall spine. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, and if you want to come off the blanket, you sure can. You might bring your block on its high, medium, or low setting to rest on your inner ankles here, your inner heels. And just bring your hands to warm up your toes as you let those shoulders kind of drape down towards the earth again. And just like before, if you feel like you have created enough space to come into a lower position on the block, you can go ahead and make that adjustment for yourself. If you make the adjustment and you decide, no, this is not good, feel free to come back to the previous position. No shame in that. And if you want to come down into full turtle posture, set your support aside. Thread your right arm under your right calf, and then thread the left arm under the left calf. Press your palms down alongside the tops of your feet, and let the whole back body round. Tuck the chin to the chest. Let the head be heavy. Take a big inhale into the back body, and exhale, big sigh or hum. And then continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Notice where you've noticed the breath and invite it more deeply to be there. Let's take 5 more full breaths wherever you are. And as you're ready, go ahead and come out of whatever posture you've built for yourself. Let's go ahead and invite those knees up towards the sky and the whole back body down to the earth. Any way you want to get there, we're coming to the back, but if you want to use a little core strength to get there, extend your arms out in front of you and roll really slowly, one vertebra at a time, down to the earth. Really say hello to your strong belly. And when you get all the way down, let's take those arms out into a T. Let those feet come out a little wider on the mat, and we'll just windshield wiper the knees to the right. The gaze goes left. Take the knees to the left and the gaze to the right. Knees right, gaze left. Knees left, gaze right. And then draw the knees in towards the heart. Give them a little hug. If you like, you can invite your nose to your knees and make a little tiny ball of yourself. Give yourself another squeeze, hug. And then set the shoulders and the head down on the earth and extend the legs up towards the sky. A little inversion here. This could be great for just a few breaths to reset the flow of the lymphatic fluid in the blood, to get it down from all pooled up in our legs. Other ways you could do this is to find yourself a wall to rest your legs on. If that's the case, you can hang out there as long as your time allows. Another option would be to take your blanket or a block, press in to lift the hips up and press the feet into the floor and come into a supported bridge posture with the block underneath the tailbone, and then extend the legs up towards the sky. So lots of variations for different needs and different spaces, different bodies. Wherever you are, let those palms come out to the side into Shavasana arms. Opening up the heart. Maybe you take that big inhale once again and exhale with a sigh or with a hum. Couple more breaths. And again, if you found yourself up against the wall or somewhere else where you're supported, you could even bend your knees here and have your legs resting to your bed or couch or a chair. If neither of those options is what you're taking a hold of today and you have other things to do, go ahead and bring your legs back down to the earth and find your full Shavasana. Extend the legs, feet out towards the bottom corners of the mat. Extend the arms, and usually I like to tuck the shoulder blades in and really rotate those arms up. This time, I'm going to ask you to reach the arms up towards the sky, lift the fingertips, open up space behind the heart, and then settle the shoulders down and open up the arms so that you have lots of support right underneath your heart. And for our final few moments here together, bring your attention to your body, to your breath. Bring your attention to whatever intention you set today, whatever permission you gave yourself. Sometimes it's hard to remember among all of the things that we have to do, all of the things that we think we have to do to keep other people happy or taken care of, that our primary job here on this earth is to take care of ourselves. Our primary purpose for being here is to create our lives. And creating a life that feels good and fun
is something that we all have a right to do. One more full breath. And then either bend your knees and roll over to one side or the other. Or in the spirit of fun, you might draw your knees in towards the heart, hold on to the backs of your thighs, and rock and roll up and down the spine 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, whatever feels good. You might notice some gentle cracking in the back as you do this. Just let it be fun and playful. And then come back to a tall seat, whatever that means to you. That could be Sukhasana with the legs crossed, Dandasana with the legs out in front of you. Whatever feels nice. Maybe you can do half lotus or full lotus now that your hips are all opened up. And we'll find that nice tall seat once again. Maybe feeling a little looser, a little more spacious, a little more lighthearted. And as we move on into the rest of our days, let's go ahead and inhale those arms out to the sides and up towards the sky one more time. Bring your palms together. Exhale, draw those thumbs right down to meet your heart. If you like, you can tilt your chin towards your chest gently, thanking yourself for giving yourself this time, the permission, the intention to be here for you. And maybe a little nod in respect and reverence for all of those who've shared this practice with us today, whether live or on the recording. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.